Hey everybody, my name is Will Jeffrey. I'm one of the co-founders of Will Win Games, as well as the executive producer and project manager of our game Plunder Panic. Plunder Panic's a swashbuckling action arcade game for up to 12 players, where two rival crews battle for supremacy on the high seas. It's got both local and online play, and basically you work together with your crew to plunder booty, defeat the enemy captain, or scuttle their ship. So I'm going to give you a little developer commentary as I go through the game and show you some of its cool features and some of the different gameplay options you have available. So we're going to launch into the tutorial here, and the basics of Plunder Panic is that there are 4 win conditions, and whatever team completes one of those first is going to win. So we've included a little interactive tutorial that goes through about 10 different stages that show you the different win conditions and the basics of the game. So in this one, my pirate here is picking up gold from around the map and depositing it into the chest. And as you can see on the left, the gold is filling up the mast. So once you fill it all the way up, you complete that objective. In this one, I'm loading the cannon, so I gotta grab a cannonball, load it into the cannon, and if the wick makes it all the way, it shoots the shot at the ship. And then you can also blow up the enemy ship. This is a tutorial sped up rowboat, but if you manage to row the rowboat all the way into the enemy ship, it'll automatically explode. Now, since our game is 12 players, it can be a little difficult to get that many controllers and people around, so we do offer full customization of multiple controller types for each individual controller. And if you don't have 12 people available, you can fill up your team with AI players. I also can open up this options book here, and that options book allows me to change the game mode, so I'm going to show you a couple different game modes. There's also a bunch of different items in the game, so I'm showing you a handful here. You can turn them on, off, change the drop rates for them. And we also have modify-arrs, because of course there's a pirate pun, that are basically just gameplay modifiers that change how the game can be played. I'll show you a few of those as well later. You're also able to pick which islands you'd like to travel to. Each one has a unique background, some dynamic elements to them, so you can pick and choose which ones you want to play on. So in this case, I'm going to sail off with a 4v4, just myself as a human and 7 AI, and it's going to load up a conquest match, which is essentially a tournament, but you can only complete one victory type per match. So in this case, if you win via rowboat, you can't win via rowboat again. You need to pick a different victory condition. So basically, my job as a captain in this 4v4 match is to try to control the map, make sure I'm defending the cannon, defending the rowboat, defending my ship, and we're also pushing the rowboat, which you see at the bottom of the screen there. Pushing that rowboat closer and closer, and that's an immediate win condition. So if we're able to row it all the way into their ship, we can win the match. So me as the captain right now, I'm running around picking up some items. I got the squid shot here, which allows you to ink players, and Kraken arms will reach out and grab them. And that was able to take out their captain, so our rowboat could hit their ship and take them out. A lot of matches in Plunder Panic are relatively quick. On average, our rounds maybe last 90 seconds or less. But once a round ends, it takes you to a score screen. It shows you how one of the teams won, and then it takes you to an award section where you can get little cool player awards that are different for each player, see your individual stats, how you did on each objective, that sort of thing. And it gives you the option to jump right into a new match or make some changes. So in this case, we're going to play another conquest match. And since we won via rowboat, we can't win via rowboat again. So there's a little anchor down there on the right side instead of the normal marker showing that, hey, you already won via rowboat once. But it doesn't stop you from moving that rowboat over to try to keep the enemy from being able to make any progress. This is our kind of spooky island, and it's got some dynamic platforms. So if you stand on kind of the ethereal platforms, they'll disappear after a brief period and then reappear. So you can use that to your advantage to have items drop on players' heads, or make it difficult to defend from the cannon going off since they can't jump up and load it or jump up and hit the wick. Someone also activated a cursed idol, so you see those green orbs flying down, and they're going to fly down wherever the cursed idol is sitting. And if that's not enough panic for you, you can also play a larger scale match. So in this case, I loaded up another local match, and I've got 6 AI on one team and 5 AI in the other, with myself as the red captain. This is another one of our newer maps, the Lost Glacier. It's a bit more dynamic, so it's got platforms that you can stand on that eventually fall down and damage other pirates below it, and you can stand on the little ice down there, and if you stand too long, it'll break away. Each map is a little bit different, so this is our Shipwrecked Map, and in this case I'm also showing off some modify-arrs that we've got. For this one is the high tide modifier, so you can see there's no ground in this one, so it's extra dangerous. People have to make sure they're platforming very steadily, otherwise they're going to fall right into the water. so it makes it a little bit more dangerous. And this one I'm showing off an always cursed idol, so this one's always on. I believe it's called Curse of the Gods. So you can see it's always raining down, and you can move the idol so that it's denying a different part of the screen. And everybody also has pirate wings and swords, so the chaos is ensuing here where we're flying around, jumping around, trying to defend the cannon and just avoid getting hit. Plunder Panic started out as a local-only arcade cabinet when it was the original prototype, and it allowed for up to 6 players on each side, and we had NES USB controllers, and it was a ton of fun. And that was something that we were about ready to bring to market, but unfortunately the pandemic hit shortly after we were about ready to launch. So internally we decided, hey, we want to remake this game with multiplayer, but networked multiplayer, which is a big undertaking. So we ended up redesigning the game and rebuilding it from the ground up over the past year or so, and it now includes full online multiplayer capabilities that mirror what you can do locally. So you can have up to 12 players local, have up to 12 wired controllers or however many Bluetooth controllers that your PC allows, but you can also connect to players online. So here I'm going to show you a little section of the online portion of the game where you can create a party, in this case, and invite people via whatever platform you're on. So if you're on Steam, you can invite Steam players. And then you can navigate to, if you'd like to do matchmaking, you can go to this matchmaking section, choose which type of game mode. We've got like a weekly game mode that changes with various modifiers and items. And you can also play a private game. So if you don't want to play with other people that you don't know, you can play with people that you do know. So you can create up a little private room here, and this allows you to do all sorts of things. You've got a room code in the upper right corner that you can send out to friends or streamers, hide the room code if you don't want it to be stream sniped. And then you can invite some friends to come play with you. So in this case, I've got some of the developers playing here with me, and we have a little 2-on-2 match going on. And this is maybe more of a higher skill cap match since the developers play quite a bit. So when it comes to maybe these more competitive matches, communication is definitely key. Being able to either on Discord or in person, communicate with your team, calling out objectives, saying like, oh, they're close to gold, they're close to gold, they're close to rowboat, that sort of thing. All of the objectives scale depending on the team size, so the more people that are playing, the more that you need to get for each objective. And it also supports asymmetrical teams. So if you have fewer people on one side, you might not need as much gold to win. You have a few extra lives to balance things out. We also tried to make it very diegetic so that everything is very easily scannable. It's a game that has a lot going on and it's, requires a lot of concentration. So if you do a quick glance, you see, oh, the red boat has 1 hole in it. So it's got 2 more shots before it goes down via cannon, and I've got 2 gold there on the mast, but now they're stealing the gold. They've got 1 gold. You look at the mast and see how much it fills up. You can see the position of the rowboat, and then the upper left and right sides you can see the captain flags on each team, and that denotes how many lives the captain has left. So you can quickly scan and see. Of course, you need a little bit of time in between matches to trash talk your other fellow pirates, and since this is a family-friendly game, it's got a nice little pirate filter in there, so anytime you swear, it'll turn into a fun little pirate word instead. Our goal with Plunder Panic was to really just make a game that went back to the days of couch co-op and gaming with your friends in the same room, and that excitement that came with like playing a big multiplayer game, whether it was a Mario Kart, Mario Party, Super Smash Brothers, Killer Queen, Nidhogg, whatever it may be. Those were the types of games that really excited us as developers, and we wanted to make something that was a lot of fun to play, had a lot of replay value, and was something that anybody at any age could really pick up. The game itself is quite simple. It only has a few different buttons: jump, action, and move, and you can make it as complicated as you want. You could be one of those players that are calling things out and calling the shots, or you could be a crewmate that's just listening and following along, and I'm only going to do gold, I'm only going to row the rowboat, that sort of thing. So when we show this game off at expos, or we have people playing at some sort of event, we get all ages. We get 3-4-year-olds playing, and we get grandparents playing, and everywhere in between. And after a few rounds, everybody's been able to really get into it and start shouting things for their match and calling each other scurvy dogs, which is a lot of fun to see. And that was really the goal of what we were trying to do as a company: create a game that was really accessible. We also wanted to make sure, if you spend so much time scouring the 7 seas for booty, that you can show that off to everyone else. So Once you're done plundering, you can head over to the infamy section and you can check out the wanted poster of your pirate, which is full of all these little fun Easter eggs, but it'll show your most picked pirate and what you're most known for, what victory conditions, and for those that are really into it, you can check out some pretty detailed stats of playing as a captain, as a crewmate, what type of objectives you complete, the different types of awards that you've won over your time, that sort of thing. We try to make it very shareable, so you can click the little share button, it'll take a screenshot, copy it to your clipboard, so you can send it out and show people how much of a infamous pirate that you are. Thanks for joining me and watching through this video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and you'd like to give Plunder Panic a chance. Thanks!
Prepare to plunder.